great to see you out today for I think this is our third Cardinal Sports Lunch of the year here at Minsky's. So thanks to the folks at Minsky's for putting out a nice little spread for us. We appreciate that. Encourage you to take care of your server if you didn't get a chance to do that when you came through the line. That is much appreciated. I don't have a whole lot I want to say. I want you to be able to hear from the coaches. We have a lot of coaches who are going to talk today because we are in that transition time between the fall sports wrapping up and the winter sports already well underway. One thing I will tell you that we are so proud about, we just heard in the last 2 weeks that we were again one of the top 20 institutions in the NCAA in terms of academic success rate with a 93%, which that means that 93% of our students, athletes who came to Jewel in that particular cohort, which was 2006, I believe, 93% of those students graduated from college. Many of them graduated from Jewel, but 93% of them graduated from somewhere. So that's something that very proud of. The NCAA awards their presidential honor to schools in the 90 percentile or higher, and there's only about 25, 26 of those. We are the highest institution of the Great Lake Valley schools that has a football program. Not that football students aren't student athletes, but it just for having a program as big as we have. And so we are really, really proud of that. And while we want to win a lot of games and we want our students to have a great overall experience, one of the most important things is that they graduate, and that's one of the best measures of that. So very proud of that. And I'll let Coach Rains tell you a little bit about volleyball.
Hi, I'm Coach Rains with volleyball, and we are on day 4 of our season being over, and I'm ready to get back in the gym already. So that's saying a little bit of something about the group of kids that we have in the gym. This year was a good one for us. Everybody asks how it went, and I say it went better than my first year here, and that's really all you can ask for as you're trying to grow that program. We doubled our wins and our conference wins from my first season here, and that was a goal for us. Obviously, the win column is one that we focus on a little bit as coaches, but I think the underlying things that really we focused on the most this year was having the right attitude and the right effort in everything that we do. And I feel blessed to have the young group of kids that we had because they're going to come back and they're going to take that attitude and the effort, and we're going to be able to build some more on that. So, I had one of my sophomores who's here, Grace Miller, who made a big impact on us. We had 2 seniors that graduated, and the rest of them were underclassmen. So we are very excited that we made some strides this first year and just where we're going to go in the future. Doubling the win column, if we keep that going, then I'll be really happy from here on out. So we had some really standout athletes who are going to continue to grow as we all grow together. And then obviously this is another exciting time for us because we went through our signing period last week for our 2016 class, and we had 5 young women sign their NLIs officially as of last night. So mixing them in is really exciting. We have 2 liberos that are going to be coming to us, an outside middle, another outside, and a setter that's actually from Texas. So she's my first Texas kid, and we're excited to kind of expand our recruiting base a little bit with that. So, steps in the right direction is what I keep hearing, and that's what I'm going to believe. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jefferson Robley, head coach for men's and women's soccer. We've had actually probably a few more days than Carolyn and volleyball has had off, but we're the same way. We're practically itching to go as well. Our players will get back together early in the spring semester when they come back. But both men's and women's teams, we both won one more game than we won last year. We finished strong. Our men's team actually, our last road trip, we went to Wisconsin Parkside and Lewis, and we had a tie and a win. It's actually the only time. That's a very tough road trip in our conference, and to go undefeated on that road trip was very good. And then the men, last game of the year was against at Rockhurst, who are a top 5 nationally ranked team, who are still currently playing. They're in the Elite 8, I believe, and we lost 1-0 and gave them everything they could handle. It was although we didn't win the game, it was a great showing for what the future could be like for the men's team. And the women's team final game of the year was at Rockhurst, who was a playoff team, and the women's team won 4-1, had a fantastic game, great effort. We scored 4 of the best goals we scored all year, which was always a lot of fun. The men's team, Ethan Delaney, was one of the top scorers in the conference, and Jade Gifford, who was a midfielder, was a top 10 scorer in the conference as well. We graduated 5 women's players and 3 men's players. All of them had great careers here at Jewel, and we're going to miss them, but we're going to have some good recruits coming in, and we've got some good players moving forward that we can't wait to get going in the spring. So we got a lot to be looking forward to, and it is a great day to be a Cardinal. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Sean Weigel. I'm the head football coach at Jewel in my first year there. Just wrapped it up in Rapid City, South Dakota. I think we're back from there. You know, it's a ways up there, but it was a decent trip. We didn't win the game, but it was a decent trip. We only had one bus breakdown in Mitchell, and so we didn't get stuck on the road anyways. But we finished the season 4-7, 4-4 in Great Lakes Valley Conference play, and tied for 4th. So again, we were 500 or better in the conference, which is a positive step. Just kind of breaking down some of the team highlights from this year. We led the conference in passing offense at 296 yards per game. Had a quarterback throw for over 3,200 yards, which also put us at number 19 in the country. We had one all-purpose player, the first number 1 all-purpose player, and the number 10 all-purpose yardage player in the conference. And Anthony Mullins was actually 6th in the country in all-purpose yards, so had a fantastic year. Our defense led the conference in sacks at 36, and we were 14th in the country. And also we were led the conference in tackles for losses at 90, and so some very good things happening there. At special teams, we were number 1 in kickoff return yardage and number 3 in kickoff coverage. So a lot of things to build on. Very thankful for the upperclassmen that have put the time in and helped get us to this point. But they all know that more is expected. More is expected from them in life, and as they go be victorious in everything we do, and more is expected of our underclassmen as we continue to build this thing and head in the right direction. Any questions? Any questions about the Cardinal Standard Board you see in front of you? I put a copy. It's kind of our values we live by and trying to live up to on a daily basis so you can understand what's going on in the program. But thanks for being here, and thanks for all of you that supported us this year. Yes?
So, Coach, what's your first game next year?
We get to go back to Rapid City, South Dakota. So this was dress rehearsal on the way, and we get to go back up there. I think we're going to drive through Nebraska, as it is more scenic. I can vouch for that. And it's hard to believe, I know, but thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Gohl, and I'm the head men's and women's swimming coach here at Jewel. First, I'd like to congratulate all the teams that finished up great fall seasons, and I wish everybody the best as they start into the winter semester. Since we last spoke, our men's and women's team both picked up 2 wins against UMSL and Maryville at our home opener, which was a great way to start our year. Then we had a very difficult road trip at Lewis University and at Olivet Nazarene. If you don't know, Olivet Nazarene, they were the NAIA national runner-ups last year. So it was a tough 2 days of racing. But the major highlight we got out of those, freshman Maddie Allen from Tempe, Arizona, was the GLVC Women's Swimmer of the Week after that weekend. She won the 1,000 freestyle, 500 freestyle, both days back-to-back against those teams, which was a very tough double, and we were proud of her accomplishment there. And then junior Paige Meredith also broke the pool record at Olivet Nazarene in the 100 butterfly. And Paige went to the Division II National Championships last year in that event, and she's already sitting a lot better than she was at this time last year, so we're excited to see what the season brings. Then a couple weeks after that, we headed down to Drury. I've been wanting to have Drury on our schedule. They're a D2 perennial power in swimming, and we finally got invited to go down to the Drury Invite. Our women actually finished second to them, behind the host Drury squad, beating UMSL and Maryville, and then our men's team got third behind Missouri S&T and Drury. So we were pretty happy with how they did. Paige Meredith won the 100 butterfly there. And then we had freshman Carly Wood from Missouri City, Texas, right outside of Houston. She picked up event wins in the 100 and 200 backstroke, so we're pretty happy with that. We're off for a little while, so because we're off for a little while, we don't want to get them stale and not competing. So this Saturday morning for practice, we are going to have the first annual Ricky Bobby Invite. And if anybody knows who Ricky Bobby is from Talladega Nights, he wants to go fast. So we're gonna get them all warmed up. Everybody's gonna do a couple events, and we're gonna see how fast we can go in our own home pool. So we'll keep them fresh going into the rest of our season. So.
Hi, I'm Jill MInsky, women's basketball coach. Last time we talked, we were just getting ready to leave for California for a early event, an exempt event for us, great trip in a lot of ways, also a little challenging for us. Had great competition out there. We got played some opponents that we don't ever have the chance to see. Alaska Anchorage, that was number 2 in the nation all of last year, and they were number 9. I had a chance to play a team from New York and a team from California. Ended up going 1 and 2 out of that. I think I knew when we were scheduling last year that we were really making our early season tough, and for one of those things is to try and make us a little better as far as when we get into our conference, because our conference is so strong. I think it was a great trip for us. On a personal note, one of the highlights for me was to see a lot of our players on our team had never seen the ocean. So to get the opportunity to see those kids when we got out on the beach, and the water's really cold out there, and they all ran in there. I mean, they were in there for like an hour. I got up to my ankles and I was out. But a lot of fun to see that and have those kids have that experience. Also, I had the chance to go to Disneyland with the team, and again, was really fun for me to see those kids get experience that. We had a player from Spain, and couldn't stop talking about how neat that was, and it was better than what she ever imagined. For me, I walked in there, it was like shoulder to shoulder people, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. But I had a great time on those things, and I also think basketball-wise, it made us better. We try to do something like that once every 4 years, and again, for our players that have the opportunity to stay in our program for 4 years, it's a great experience for them, and something that they'll always remember. Right now, currently, we're 1 and 5. A lot of times when you're 1 and 5, you're really kind of discouraged. But I'll be honest with you, I probably was discouraged after we went up to Nebraska and kind of got it handed to us by a ranked school, and then a northern state that was ranked last year in the top 5, and they're rebuilding. But they still handled us, and then Wayne State handled us pretty well. So one of our strengths that I believe in our team, and it will be, is shooting. But we went in there and we were 5 for 37 at halftime from the floor. And so that was a little discouraging, especially if you think that's going to be one of your strengths. And everybody that we put in kept missing. But yesterday we went and played Central Missouri. Again, we lost there. We lost 70-80, but played really well and competed. One of the things with our team is we're really young. Right now I'm starting 2 freshmen and a sophomore. And then yesterday we started a senior and a junior, but we have once in a while gone 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior. So really young. I think one of the most positive things about this team is they compete and they go hard. And yesterday, I hate losing. If you ask anybody, I hate losing in anything I do with my kids playing Yahtzee or whatever. I hate it. But a lot of positives from yesterday. A lot of things to build on, and I know talking to the players afterwards, and they're all things that we can fix. We lost by 10. We gave up 20 offensive boards, and those are things that you can fix and build on. So, again, I really encourage you guys to come watch this team play. They work really hard. They're exciting. They're fun, a great group to coach. There's a lot of them. There's 17. A lot of times when you have that big of a team, and you're losing, there's finger pointing, but not one of these kids is doing that. They're all very supportive, and it's for being 1 and 5, I'm having a lot of fun, which sounds bad, but I do. I can see, I think we're just going to get better and better, and again, it's a fun team to coach, and this Sunday is going to be our first home game. We played our first 6 on the road against Upper Iowa. Upper Iowa is very good. They lost Missouri Western, who's in top 25, and they lost to Fort Hays, who's number 10. They lost to both of those teams by 10. So it'll be a good challenge for us. Their record, it's not indicative of the kind of team they are, but I'm really looking forward to having them at home, playing at home, and having some of you guys be able to watch them play. So, thank you.
I mentioned the time. There's been some.
Oh, yeah. So the time is at 2 o'clock. I think it was on our website for a while at 1 o'clock, which was my fault. It is at 2 o'clock p.m. And also, I didn't say this, we have also had 2 early signings for next year, and both really good players, and we're excited about that too. But yeah, 2 o'clock on Sunday. Would love to have all of you guys out there. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Larry Holly. This is my 37th year coaching at William Jewell. How many people in here are younger than 37 years of age? Please raise your hand. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks to everyone who is here, and thanks for your continued support of William Jewell College Athletics. I do have a guest with me today. Jimmy Williams back there, please raise your hand. Jimmy is in his first year as an assistant coach with us, and I'm not sure if he's going to even go on the trip today, or I'm not sure he'll be at practice tomorrow. He and his wife Stephanie have a 4-year-old son, a 2-year-old daughter, and they have a baby that's I think the due date is December 6th, but they've already had 2 hospital runs where they've stayed overnight 2 different times, and so he may or may not be going on the trip today, but he's doing a fabulous job. He traveled down to Wichita Tuesday night to personally scout Pittsburgh State at Newman, and we play Pittsburgh State tonight. Also very blessed to have Scott Selmeyer and Christian Hildebrandt, 2 former players in our program helping this year. But I want to thank Coach Williams for all he's done and all he continues to do, and we can't wait to get that third child, that baby girl, as part of the Williams family. We're picked number 6 out of 8 teams in the Western Division of the GLVC. That's kind of standard for us. We've been picked, I think, 6th or 7th or 8th every year we've been in the GLVC. There are 3 teams from our conference in the top 25 in the nation, and that's low for us. We usually have anywhere from 4 to 5 to 6, but it'll be a tough league again. Bellarmine, Indianapolis, and Drury, I think, are all in the top 25. As far as our early season goes, we had a scrimmage at the University of Central Missouri. They're going to have another solid year. That was a good experience for us. Got to see a lot of our new people. We have 16 on our roster right now, 9 returnees and 7 new players, so trying to get those guys to work together, and they're doing a great job. We had an exhibition game at Missouri State University. We lost that game by 26, I believe, 88-62, but had some good things happen in that game. It was a great experience. We then had our first home game against Baker University, and we won that game, I think, by 13. Got to play pretty much everybody in that game. Sean Dooley is the head coach at Baker, former assistant with us for 3 years, and he's got a nice ball club. I want to say a special thank you to all the student athletes who came out. I want to thank all the coaches for encouraging their student athletes to come out and support us against Baker, most especially the baseball team, and most especially the men's swimming team, who put on a very, you talk about their performance in the pool, you should see their performance on the baseline in the Mabee Center when the other team especially is shooting free throws. It's a sight to behold. It's difficult to describe, but we in all sincerity, I get a kick out of it. I think it's great. I know I'm not sure how everybody else feels, but I would love to have them there every game. I'd probably pay them to be there, although that would probably be an NCAA violation. So, but I want to say a special thank you to all the student athletes who support other sports, not just us, but them being there. I always worry about our crowd. Jimmy Williams played at Mid-American Nazarene University, and the 4 years that he played there, he never lost in the Mabee Center. We beat Baker in our first home game, and after the game he said, "Coach, I've still not lost a game in the Mabee Center." So, which is great. That's why he was hired. No other reason. He just knows how to win in the Mabee Center. Then we had an exhibition game Sunday at UMKC. We had a great turnout of support for us. Actually had a 29-24 lead in the first half. Really proud of our efforts. They stepped it up a little bit defensively. They really stepped it up with their offensive rebounding, and they shot a little bit better in the second half. But really proud of our young men and the performance. It's always great to go to Municipal Auditorium. Never had the honor of playing there in the NAIA tournament as a student athlete at William Jewell. got to sweep the floor a few times between games because Norris Patterson, our former athletic director, ran everything during the national tournament. But that's a great facility, and we enjoyed that. Our starters right now, we start Patrick Whelan, 6'4" point guard out of England, sophomore. Darius Tomlin, our only senior starter, 5'9", out of Jackson, Tennessee. Matt Lassen, if you've seen us play, he's had 2 really good games. Matt had 26 at UMKC, had 21 at home, 6'5" guard out of Marion, Iowa, a junior. And Javier de la Blanca, 6'7", out of Hollande Community College, actually from Spain. Very good player for us. And then Austin Regier, a junior. So we're starting a fairly young team as well, and look forward to the future. Tonight we're at Pittsburgh State. Pittsburgh State won the MIAA postseason tournament last year, and have 4 starters back off that team. And if you watch Pittsburgh State at KU, I know we got some KU fans in here. They gave KU all they wanted in the first half, so it'll be a good test for us tonight. Saturday we're at home against Missouri Southern State University. Missouri Southern in one national poll was picked number 5 in the nation preseason, so we'll have our hands full there. But Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, we'd love to see you there. And then a week from Saturday, November 28, we're at home at 1 o'clock against Wayne State College out of Nebraska. They're in the North Central Conference. Used to be members of the old CSIC conference at the NAIA level. Their head coach, Brian Dolan, was a William Jewell grad. Was an assistant with Coach Kress during his time here. Actually transferred to play for us, but kept getting hurt and was unable to play. He's done a great job getting Wayne State going. I want to mention one thing: that graduation rate of 93%. The other 7% are. Well, let me say this. My college coach, Jim Nelson, used to call the University of Central Missouri the finishing school. And I often asked him why he did that. He said, well, if you can't graduate anywhere else, you go to Central Missouri to finish. And so I don't know if we can let those 7% know that they could do that. Now, I say that, both my parents are graduates of the University of Central Missouri. So, you know, I have a lot of friends down there. My parents had a great experience down there. I want to say something a couple of you have already asked. We do have a calendar that my wife and her daughter have put together. It's a fundraiser for us. They're $10 a piece, and we can mail them to you, or you can stop by and pick them up. We'll have them all in next Wednesday. I know Dr. Richards has already purchased a couple today. If you'd like to see me afterwards, be happy to take your order, and I think you'll enjoy it. It has our schedule, has a bio of each of our players, and some great pictures of our student athletes on campus.
Just as a wrap-up, thank all the coaches for talking today, and thank all of you for being here. As you can see, we do a lot of things besides what happens just on the court, in between the lines, or on the field. The football team had the opportunity to see Mount Rushmore last week. I know one of the soccer highlights was to be in downtown Chicago this year, and I know the Disneyland trip. When we recruit student athletes, one of the things that I always tell them if I talk to recruits is you'll remember a lot of things about the experience that you have as an athlete, but a lot of it is what is not what happens on the field. And Coach Gohl is going to take his team down to Florida again this year, and those are a lot of great memories, and we really try hard to do that. We want to play the games, and to me that's one of the great things about Division II is we are trying to do the total experience. And you hear stories about teams that go to exotic places, but the teams never see anything but the hotel rooms. And I compliment our coaches for trying to do the right thing in terms of encompassing the entire experience. So thanks again for coming. One more just reminder, you can see a lot of our basketball games on the computer. You can listen to Rick and Tim sometimes at home. They're here today, the voices of the Cardinals. But all of our home basketball games are video streamed. But you can also, and this is what I did last weekend, and technology's pretty amazing. I did not make the football trip, but on my iPad, I had the football game, the volleyball match, and the women's basketball game all on at the same time, and I toggled back and forth. And then on my phone, I had Rick and Tim. I was listening, because since it was an away game, it was South Dakota Mines broadcast. But anyway, the quality of that, and I know I've mentioned this before in these meetings, but the quality of the video is really, really good. It's like you're watching TV. So I encourage you to do that if you get the chance, and it's a great way to keep up with us home or on the road, and also to tell more people that don't come to our games, older folks, grandmas and grandpas, and we encourage our student athletes to do that because it's a great way for people to stay connected and not have to leave their house. So thanks again for coming. We'll see you next month.